In today's video, we will be going through my team selection for Game Week 21. We'll cover some potential transfers that I'm looking to make, as well as the huge captaincy dilemma that is taking place. I would absolutely love some feedback and comments from you all, however, as I could be tempted to roll my free transfer in preparation for the double game weeks and the blank fixtures on the horizon. Hello. I have absolutely dragged my social media presence from TikTok over to YouTube, so if you could please like and subscribe to this new channel, that would be amazing. If you really enjoy the video, you could even turn on notifications so you don't miss an upload. In Game Week 20, I picked up a small but respectable 71 points, giving me a small green arrow from 486,000 to roughly 436,000 in the world. This rank is quite poor for me, but all things considered, following the first 6 to 7 game weeks, I am feeling pretty good about 9 green arrows in my last 10. Anyway, let's get into the team selection. In goal, and my first potential transfer, I'm currently sticking with David Raya. Arsenal have picked up 5 clean sheets in their last 5 games at home, with them averaging about 0.3 expected goals conceded per game. This makes the ownership of David Raya all the more frustrating, as week in week out he seems to perform against the data. A little red flag would be that their expected goals against both Brighton and Palace was actually quite high. Both away fixtures, but it is something I need to keep an eye on. My personal plan has always been to bring in Alisson before Game Week 24. The Liverpool rotation is so unreliable, and he is one person that's guaranteed to play both the double game week fixtures. If it wasn't for the double game week, I think I would actually look to bring in Sells, as I think he is a much better option. And Liverpool have only kept 1 clean sheet in their last 6 games. Hopefully for Liverpool fans, now that Konate is back, that should improve, but there is absolutely no guarantee. Moving to Alisson would gain me 0.1 million, but moving to Sells would gain me 0.6 million, and that is something I have to consider in my long-term strategy, especially seeing as Erling Haaland is beginning to look like a more viable option again. Now, I could double up on the Arsenal defence, but currently I have Gabriel as my first bench player. Gabriel is not a player I'm looking to sell anytime soon. I personally think he'll be in my team till the end of the season, but what I have to consider is when I select him. Tottenham at home is not a great fixture. Don't get me wrong, Arsenal are usually brilliant at home and keep a lot of clean sheets, but we have to consider that Tottenham are the second highest scoring team in the Premier League this season, so I'm not sure I fancy a clean sheet. As a back 3, I will look to start Trent Alexander-Arnold, as his minutes should be okay for now, especially seeing as he didn't start against Tottenham on Wednesday night. But you best believe I'm going to have one eye on that Liverpool fixture to check the lineup on Saturday. Trent, again, has been very frustrating to own. I don't think that he's going to get any attacking returns against Nottingham Forest, but I do believe that he could pick up a clean sheet. Munoz is a must start against Leicester. I brought him in a few weeks ago, and I do not expect to be putting him on the bench anytime soon with the Crystal Palace fixtures. His expected goal involvements are averaging about 0.4. Apart from Trent, he is one of the highest performing attacking defenders in the league. I don't think he's going to get any clean sheets, but let's hope he gets some big returns. I think I will look to start Castagna this week, but I could easily swap him for Gabriel. The West Ham bounce that they're going to have following the appointment of Graham Potter could not come at a worse time for any Fulham asset owners hoping for a clean sheet. Castagna did annoyingly give away a penalty against Ipswich last week, but I feel that he made up for it by scoring in the FA Cup. Currently, I just see him as a cheap alternative to Robinson, and he offers a little bit more value. Anthony Gordon kicks off my midfield, where I'm hoping he can make it 6 returns in a row. He's absolutely flying. I am so glad that I went against the current of most FPL managers that brought in Odegaard. One of the really nice things about owning Gordon is that he's creating returns for other players such as Isak and Murphy, which is adding extreme value to the Newcastle double up. Then we have Mo Salah. Do I need to say more? He has returned in 18 out of 20 games so far this season. I won't even waste your time mentioning why he's in the team, but Liverpool are going through a slight wobble right now, but it's nothing I'm too overly concerned about. They do have a tricky fixture, which is why he might not have the armband. My second and final Crystal Palace asset, as it stands, is Eberechi Eze. A few weeks ago, I made the correct choice to bring him in over Ismaila Sarr. It is slightly frustrating not knowing if Eze is on penalties or not, but he is against a side that are conceding on average over 2 goals per game. Cole Palmer has gone pretty quiet on the captaincy shouts this week, with only 2 returns in his last 5 games. But he does always get a nice amount of bonus points, which is a positive. Also, there was actually a little bit of news out of Chelsea yesterday, I believe, where Lavia is potentially back. If that's the case and he plays, both Palmer and Enzo become much more valuable attacking assets. As it stands, I currently have no plan on what I'm going to do with Cole Palmer, but if I do choose to bring Haaland back from Game Week 27 onwards, it is likely he will have to be the sacrifice. Coming back from suspension is Morgan Rogers. Annoyingly, he did miss out on that nice fixture to Leicester, but he is coming back to a pretty good fixture against Everton away. Everton are another club that are likely going to have that new manager bounce. If they bring him in before game week 21, I might look to play a 3-4-3 and bring in Raul Jimenez off of the bench. Up top, I'm looking to play a front two of João Pedro and Isak. Quite worryingly, the news has come out that both of these players have picked up a knock in the last couple of days. João Pedro is being assessed, so hopefully he's not out completely. And Eddie Howe did sound pretty positive about Isak, so I like to think that he'll start in game week 21. And he'll likely be rested for the cup game this weekend. Over the next few weeks, or potentially this week, I do need to move either João Pedro or Raul Jimenez on. But annoyingly, every time I look to sell them, one of them gets a return, which makes me change my mind. To make a move, I'll have to downgrade Eze, and I don't know if I want to do that until at least game week 27. The strikers that I would want at the moment, like Chris Wood or Cunha, both have really tricky fixtures, and I have to factor that in with my transfer strategy. Mateta could also be a good option, but I'm not a huge fan of the Crystal Palace triple up. When it comes to captaincy selection, I know a lot of people have been struggling on who to pick, and it could be a monumental differential green arrow week. You have cheap differentials like Raul Jimenez and Amad Diallo. In the case of Raul Jimenez, strikers have scored 16 times against West Ham so far this season, and right wingers have scored 12 times against Southampton for Amad Diallo. A lot of people are considering either Bruno Fernandes or Mateta as captaincy choices this week. Both are good shouts, do not get me wrong, but Mateta isn't firing on all cylinders just yet. For that reason, I think I would prefer Bruno, despite the fact that Leicester have conceded 14 goals to strikers so far this season. The three premium choices, of course, are Salah, Haaland and Isak. Don't shoot the messenger, but I feel that Haaland could actually be a better option than Salah this game week. Brentford's expected goals conceded is a lot higher on average than Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest did beat Liverpool away earlier in the season. It's just something to consider. For me personally, I think that Isak is going to be the correct choice of captain. Wolves conceded 3 goals in game week 20, and I know that they've got Cunha back, but Newcastle at home are absolutely purring. And you have to remember that both Salah and Haaland are away. If you have any questions regarding your team or anything that I've covered in this video, please put it in the comments or head over to one of my other socials and message me on there. Thank you all for watching my first ever YouTube video. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you soon.